Da, 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 da. Okay, is it detecting everything? It looks like it is. Awesome. That's what I like to see. Alright, it's been about 2 weeks since I have streamed. A lot was going on. / sometimes my health was just not the best. But I am back today. To finally finish case 4. I'm hoping. And finally get into case 5. Alright. April 6th. Detention Center Holding Cell. I never thought I'd spend another night in here again. And they stripped me of all the evidence we'd so painstakingly gathered. Even if they didn't let me keep Kay's Yatagarasu pin. Even if they did, I can't help but worry about her. They'd better be treating her well. So all we have, well, we have to always have a pin, right? So, hello. The murder, it was me. I remember looking down and the person in the red raincoat was on the ground. It was me, Mr. Edgeworth. It was me all along. I'm the murderer. I'm the murderer. And then they put us in jail, specifically in the cell that Knight was in. Come on, let's go. You got a visitor. A visitor? Who? Someone by the name of Dick Gumshoe. Want me to send him away? Gumshoe came to visit us. No. Though I'm not sure what to even say to him. April 6th. Oh my god, he's even on that side of the glass. Wait there. They're leaving me unsupervised. Forgive the intrusion. Oh, it's Verity! You lied. I thought you said it was Gumshoe, but no, it's Verity. Judge Gavel. Please, Mr. Edgeworth, take a seat. What are you doing here? I was told it was Detective Gumshoe. I imagined you wouldn't come if you knew it was me. What could she possibly want from me now? I suppose I'd better find out. What do you want, Verity? You may not be aware of this, but you are only permitted to meet with specially approved visitors. So I'm to be treated like a dangerous criminal, am I? I suppose my reputation has rather plummeted. Oh yes, Edgeworth, dangerous criminal. Indeed. It has indeed. For you, of course, and your friends. That attorney and the other girl were raising quite a fuss earlier. Fender and Emma. I saw them launching some extremely heated words at one of the guards. No, you didn't. You may thank the goddess in that regard. For even if she is too busy to deal with each and every infraction. I arrived to the most evil criminal of all time. Yes, Captain. Edgeworth is a criminal now, but Gavel has come to visit us. They will not be punished for their bad behavior. Did you come in here just to chit-chat with me? Or you must have had a lot of time on your hands. Oh, speaking of which, Miss Von Kamera is continuing the investigation where you left off. I just thought you would like to know. I figured you would be worried about how they were all doing. I mean, that was nice of you, Verity. I hate to admit it, but she's read me like a book. Okay, what is your motive for being here? Let's cut to the chase, Your Honor. Why are you really here? I am here simply to talk, nothing more. There is something I wish to know about you. Me? Yes, who else? Objectively speaking, you are highly intelligent and quick-witted. Gavel thinks I'm intelligent and quick-witted, guys. And a born prosecutor at that. Please, Judge Gavel, your sarcastic praise is but salt in my wounds. But I sincerely mean every word, Mr. Edgeworth. And it is why I fail to understand you. She finally loves us. She just needed us to be a criminal first, guys. Take this latest case, for example. You were up against a very committee itself. You had no hope for succeeding. Even a child could have seen that, and yet... I don't imagine the old me would have been so reckless. The old me had power, and because of that, I thought that justice was always on my side. Just as you and the committee believe now. But a certain person changed my mind. He made me reckon with my selfish and skewed sense of justice. I always laugh at how much they want to avoid mentioning him. Like, if we said his name out loud, it would be illegal. And once the scales had fallen from my eyes, I began to look at people differently. I saw that I was only able to be an effective prosecutor thanks to the efforts of those around me. Detective Gumshoe, the many investigative officers of the force, and even Kay. It changed me. The degree to which it changed me still surprises me to this day. I see. Thank you. I feel that perhaps I understand you a little better now. You understand me? I highly doubt it. Someone who is so focused on forcing their idea of justice onto others can't possibly see what I see. Is that so? Is that truly what you believe? I will say one thing. This has been a very interesting conversation. That is all. Before I go, there is one remaining matter. I was asked to inform you that the date of your hearing has been confirmed. It will be held today in the trial chamber. The committee sends its warmest regards. If that is all you have to tell me, you could have just sent a message. And entrust the goddess's words to another? That wouldn't do now, would it? Until then, Mr. Edgeworth, I'll see you again very shortly. Bye, Verity. Back to the fact that they didn't even clean out this room of, like, the stuff from night. They're just like, yeah, you can just be in this cell. It's fine. Am I able to move? Oh, yep, I sure am. And there's a note on the wall next to the toilet. Sorry, we're currently out of toilet paper. Please make the necessary mental preparations before using the toilet. What sort of mental preparations can one even make? I mean, he's dead. It's not like he needs his stuff anymore. I mean, fair. We could escape. There is a tunnel under this bed. We are aware of this. A very basic bed. However, I can't say it's very comfortable to sleep on, however. I imagine Detective Gumshoe would sleep soundly on it nevertheless, loudly snoring all the while. I suppose we'll probably never get to work together again. But I don't have any regrets about the bed I've made. I will follow my own path to the very end. There's a menu here on the table. It seems that detainees are able to pay to have their meals brought to their cells. What looks good? Spaghetti and mac and cheese lunch. Add linguine for only $1. Basmati and brown rice special. For a limited time only, add regular white rice at no extra cost. It's probably for the best. I'm not very hungry. Have a ton of different rice, or have every pasta. I've barely spent any time here, and I already feel my personal appearance slipping. I may have given up my badge, but I mustn't give up on myself. My collar! It's slightly creased! There. A tidy outside begets a tidy inside. Which is why it's more important now than ever to take care of myself. Yeah, okay, Edgeworth. There's a poster in the corridor outside. We regret to announce that due to the warden's arrest, the Die of Destiny game will be discontinued. Not the Die of Destiny game. Inmates will no longer need to roll a die every morning to determine their meals for the day. This prison is so wacky. We wholeheartedly apologize to those who are looking forward to their daily casting of the die. Did anyone really need to apologize for the cessation of such a ridiculous idea in the first place? Do I have another visitor? Oh, look who it is. Kay! Oh, thank goodness you seem all right. That's a load off my mind. Ah, such heartwarming scene. It's enough to make a grown man cry. But you're still not your usual cheery self. I mean, you have to stay positive, Kay. You didn't do anything wrong. In fact, I guarantee you didn't. No, I have to let it go. I'm the murderer. I know that now. But you're not. You can't be. Why don't you have any faith in yourself? How can I, Mr. Edgeworth, when there is no me left to believe in? None at all. I don't think that's true. Before you lost your memory, we spent quite a bit of time together, and I dare say you left quite the impression on me. So you see, there are still plenty of you left. That's why I believe so much in your innocence, and why you should believe in yourself too. Thank you. But I can't. It would just cause more pain for the both of us. Please, you have to forget her. Forget that, Kay. She's gone. Kay, no. You remind me of my younger self, you know. So noble, so bold. This is the justice you and the committee stand for. Justice. I suppose you could call it that. What is he up to? Why is he going to such lengths to control everything? I can't shake the feeling that something is very wrong here. Is there some hidden agenda at play? This is no time to second guess myself. If I'm going to find out what it is, it's now or never. Well then, my boy, I suppose I should be. Wait. Oh, fuck. No, I'm not ready for more mind chess. Why would you do this to me, Gabe? Alright. Why is the chairman so intent on seeing Kay charged with murder? It doesn't make any sense. There must be some rhyme or reason to this madness. Oh god, he's got so many chess pieces, guys. Because for some reason they believed in this dumb-ass mechanic. Yeah. It's not terrible, but it's not their best. Okay. Come now, Miles. I'm a busy, important man. I can't be wasting my precious time talking to you. The only way out of our current predicament is through the chairman winner. There's so much to ask in so little time. Let's start by trying to find out why he rushed to have Kay arrested so quickly. I can't just let this happen. I'm getting answers if it's the last thing I do. Mind chess. Commence. Why? Why were you so keen to push through Kay's arrest? I've yet to hear a satisfactory explanation. An explanation? I'm not entirely sure what you mean. Don't give me that. You know exactly what I mean. Just make people play real chess, Miles, better. Miles. Hey, Bubbles. I advise you to moderate your tone, dear boy. Need I remind you of your position? He's gonna bird me. Bide? And I suppose if we did let your friend go, what then? What do you mean, what then? How do you think that would look, my boy? And who would have to take the blame? Me, that's who. Okay, well, he's still mad, so... You're right to keep your mouth shut. That's the way you won't say anything foolish. Sorry, but I can't stay silent forever. Not while Kay's innocence is still in doubt. Ah, you're breaking my heart. Just look at this flood of tears spilling out. Please, just leave it alone, will you? Things were coming along nicely until you interfered. Coming along nicely? Coming along nicely? That's a pretty strange way of putting it. It's almost as if you wanted Kay's arrest to happen. It certainly doesn't sound like the statement an impartial representative of the law. You think so? Well, that wasn't my intention. Has it occurred to you that you might just be overthinking things a little? Chairman Winner certainly knows how to dodge a question, but it doesn't change the fact that the serious doubts remain concerning Kay's arrest. Next, we'll need to press him on whether he really believes the investigation was sufficient. I mean, it wasn't, clearly. Ugh. Okay, I need an extra pillow. There we go. Now my knees are better supported. Okay. One of them may have just given us the breakthrough we need. How much time did you spend investigating? You were the one calling the shots. Kay is innocent. Well, that's not going to do anything. You were the one calling the shots, weren't you? You can hardly say your investigation was sufficient. And you're the one who calls all the shots, weren't you? Including the decision to have Kay arrested. Ho ho ho! I'm afraid I'm nowhere near as influential as you think, dear boy. You're the chairman of the committee. It doesn't get much more influential than that. Not that I care about such things. It's always really funny when they, like, introduce these, like, councils and stuff, and they're like, they have never been mentioned before, obviously. So it's like, oh, the Committee of Justice that apparated into existence in investigations too, and never comes up again. You wound me. It's enough to drive an old man to tears. You'll have to forgive me. I'm not the deferential type. Well, if you're going to insist on being so blunt, then I'm afraid you won't be seeing your prosecutor's badge anytime soon. I don't need it, bitch. Let me make something clear once and for all. That badge isn't the be-all, end-all for me. Far from it. Yeah, I can become a defense attorney or something. I'm not concerned with titles or roles. Even you must understand that much. Well, it spun around, but it didn't break. So young, so very young. A word of advice, Miles, from somebody who's been around the block. You're hopelessly naive, my boy. Idiotically so. Well, that certainly got under his skin. He might be less guarded in his answers while he's in this state. When he's got an open flame from his lighter, Miles? I mean, I guess it's more honest. Now's my chance. How much time did you spend investigating? They spent no time investigating, obviously. So how much time was spent on your investigation altogether? My, you really don't give up, do you? But even my patience has its limits, you know. What a coincidence. So does mine. Now, answer the question. Do you believe that your investigation was sufficient or not? The youth these days are wont to be reckless. Makes me want to put you in your place. You're going to regret that, my boy. Oh, he's burning things. None of those seem like answers, so let's just bide, I guess, but he's normally... Well, maybe you do know your place after all. What's the matter, scared? Oh ho ho! Hardly. I was just thinking how best to proceed. Getting an answers from the elderly requires sensitivity. Damn, Miles. They can be quite emotional, after all. Have you no common sense whatsoever, do you? Don't you understand? Your fate rests in my hands. Dude is always burning things, yo. Bide my time, I guess. Let's say you do manage to get some answers from me. There's nothing you can do with them, so why not give up to my dear boy? No. And why not? It's simple, because I'm not about to let the truth escape me. Where is the lie, though? It's true, I'm very emotional. Interesting. I think I'm beginning to see what makes you tick. But what you're doing is pointless, tragically and miserably pointless. Please, just give up. She's guilty. The decision has been made. Like, not that he needs to hide his intentions with Miles realistically, because Miles, 1, is not a prosecutor anymore, and 2, has no, like, authority. But he's being really, like, obvious about, like, how, like, rigged this whole thing was. The decision has been made, question mark. Once again, your choice of words intrigues me. It's almost as if Kay's guilt has already been determined from before her arrest. What are you trying to imply? Beginning to see how Manfred von Karma got away with shit for so long. Yeah, exactly. I bet these guys were the best of buddies. I mean, considering it was established that, like, Francisco was familiar with him from childhood, like, man, the corruption. Anyway, that you plan to have her arrested, I assume? I'm implying that things haven't gone as they normally should. In fact, everything has proceeded as if Kay's arrest was the end goal, right from the very start. It's interesting that Kay is the one being framed here. Because, like, it's different in, like, the first case when it was all about, like, the Yatagarasu and all of that, right? Like, her being at the forefront of all of that shenanigans. But here, it kind of just feels like a shot at Miles instead. Like, they were like, we need to get at Miles, but we're going to do it through Kay. Because I can't really see... Well, I guess it could be convenience, I guess. Because obviously they're covering up their own murder. Like, them murdering someone and she happened to be around. But, I don't know. I'm not sure how planny this was. Or how much it was just she was there because she was there with someone else at the moment. They did have Kay's promise book. It's true. That is an implication. Because that was from... Did she not get that back, or did they keep that at the precinct? Is that what they said? It's been 2 weeks, so it's been a while. So that implies that, like, somebody in the law, or, like, who had access from it, lawyers in this case, because in this world, lawyers are, like, the supreme holders of evidence, I guess. It does imply something about who could have framed her, so... In fact, everything has proceeded as it was from the start. Well, Chairman Winner, was it? That's certainly an intriguing theory. I don't remember, but it's been a bit. It was evidence from Callisto Yu's case, I think. Yeah. And, like, you know that they had access to that, because obviously Callisto Yu's perfume is in the cell room. So, like... It's one of the cases they have access to getting evidence from. Hey, Donnie. We're currently arguing with Excelsius about whether or not Kay is innocent. Which she is, obviously. He's so evil. I hate him. Hello, Eustace is my god and savior. Sadly, Eustace is not currently on the screen, but his evil dad is. So... But it's also a complete work of fiction. I'm afraid I don't have time for such flights of fancy. His little offspring. I think it's time we brought this shabby little farce to an end, don't you? No, he's trying to make an escape. Oh, we can't let that. We must confirm the legality of Kay's arrest before he slips away. Yeah, give me back time, please. Oh, the music's going faster. It's faint, but the truth is finally beginning to emerge. And I'm not about to let this opportunity pass me by. I still have questions. Wait, we're not done yet. I'm tired of all this talking, so make it brief, will you? What grounds did you have? Based on the evidence I've heard from you so far, it's clear that Kay's arrest is entirely unfounded. I don't know if this is always the case, but I find if they give you 2 questions, I've kind of defaulted to selecting the second one because it tends to seem like the correct answer 90% of the time. But also, like, the second question tends to be more like seeking information. Alright. It's clear that Kay's arrest is entirely unfounded. Yes, I think we're all familiar with this particular refrain of yours by now. But I'm afraid it doesn't matter either way. You don't have what it takes to secure her release anyhow. How dare you take this so lightly, as a man of the law? My, aren't you a rude little boy? But my fuse is only so long. Bide? He's on fire. If he's on fire, you don't want to interrogate him. He has to be crying. Which sounds really funny to say. Honestly speaking, I don't have time to waste on every last question you can dream up. I have certain responsibilities to attend to. You know I really am quite the busy man. Or are you just pretending to be busy, That's an awful thing to say to a fragile old man. I work harder than I should at my age. I ask you, my boy, what could I even hope to accomplish by putting on such a pretense? Trying to make me sorry for you, hoping to avoid talking about the case. I mean, the first one. You obviously don't want to talk about the case anymore. That's why you're so keen to get out of this conversation, isn't it? It's just so tragic, it really is. What, that you would suspect me of such a thing? It's not suspicion, it's a certainty. There is no clear grounds on which to base Kay's arrest for a start. Now, my boy, let's not get carried away. There are plenty of evidence to support our case. The mask, the letter, the corsage, these were all in her possession. Yeah, and she was unconscious, or amnesiac, or whatever. You could have just placed all that shit on her. And of course, her confession. More than enough to prove her guilt, I'd say. But those are... Oh, he's gonna be on fire. What's the matter? Struggling to come up with a way to explain everything away. Bide. Well, there you have it. Your silence speaks volumes. It's true that I can't counter your argument right now. But you did let something valuable slip. He did? A suspiciously detailed knowledge of the evidence against Kay. Fair. He was able to recite it all. He rattled off the list like he knew it inside and out. I think that might prove to be a valuable clue. I still have questions. He's not going to care about the Kay is innocent line. They've had that every single section. Wait, we're not done yet. I'm tired of all this talking, so make it brief, will you? Who gave you the order? Who gave you the order? Who decided that Kay should be arrested? You know, I can't seem to remember. Don't you ever get old, Miles, my boy. It wreaks havoc on the memory. I'm not that bad yet. But yes, your memory starts to be less good. Alright. I think mood, I know, right? You know what part of it is? If I feel like I need to go through my brain and like do a deep clean. If that makes sense. I think it's too full of random information. I mean, the older you get, the more shit is already up there. Yeah, gotta clean out the attic and all that. Time to deploy my clue. You remember the evidence pretty well. I'd appreciate it if you'd stop playing the old man card. You remembered the details of the evidence against Kay pretty clearly. Perhaps it's your memory. If your memory didn't fail you... Perhaps if your memory didn't fail you only when it was convenient, I'd be more inclined to believe you. Spin. So let me ask you again, who gave the order for Kay's arrest? You're a sharp one, I'll give you that. My son could learn a thing or two from you. Handy as heck for trivia, though. Are you a trivia buff, Bubbles? I can believe that. Do. If he wasn't such an incurable numbskull, that is. So it's a tragedy, really. I don't want to hear about your son. I want to know who authorized the arrest. Yeah, we don't want to hear about... Like, maybe a little bit. I have specific trivia knowledge, but I grew up in a household where, like, my dad was the trivia buff, so if we played anything trivia-based, he would always win. So, like, it's kind of discouraging in a way, even though it shouldn't be. I mean, based on usernames, at least one person wants to hear about his son. Fair enough. You're very mean, you know that, don't you? The arrest, you say? I believe the order was given by... you, of course. I mean, it wasn't Gavel. Let's be real. I'm less a trivia guy and more I can't forget things for better or worse. I see. The memory has not... The good memory has not faded yet, Donnie. Come on now, Chairman Winner. We both know it was you. Know a lot about a little and a little about a lot. Nah, I get that. All right, you got me. You make it sound as if it was somehow a bad thing, though. But I have a reputation to uphold, so I guess I'd better clear up this little misunderstanding. I'll entertain your questions for a few more minutes. Let's see if I can't put your mind at ease. The key thing to do now is to establish how intimately he knows the details of this case. I just have to ask the right questions. The endgame is at hand, but we're but a few moves away from the truth. Well, you seem to know a lot about the case. Some detail. I know lots of things, my boy. I'm just smart like that. Too bad the same thing can't be said about the way you handled case arrest. Dude, how many things do you have in your pocket to burn? Biting. I'm a very busy man. Do try to remember that I can bring this little chat to an end whenever I so choose. It's only talking so long as you won't give me a straight answer. It's only taking so long because you won't give me a straight answer to any of my questions. If only you'd stop giving me the runaround, we'd be done already. So let's try this again. You seem to know the details of the case quite intimately. Why is that? Because I read the case file. Not exactly the most thrilling use of my time, of course, but it's part of the job. I have to be a good role model. I can't be seen slacking. It can be so hard. But I had some time on my hands, so I read the whole thing from cover to cover. But you keep saying how busy you are. That's strange. I could have sworn you just told me you're a very busy man. I'd say the cracks are finally starting to show, wouldn't you? Okay, assuming he gets like a criminal breakdown moment, I currently want him to accidentally light his beard on fire. Although no criminal breakdown's gonna be quite as good as the whole like explosion of ferrets that was a coat that I was harping on for the entire case until we found out it wasn't a real fur coat. Water. I'd say the cracks are finally starting to show, wouldn't you? If you're so keen on being an upstanding leader, you can start by releasing Kay, you know. You really don't give up, do you? It's A moving sight indeed, my boy. But a tragic one, too. After all, your efforts are for naught. I'm afraid your little friend was found unconscious near the scene of the crime. Was she, though? That doesn't make any sense. What was the weather like? Did you see exactly where she was found? Yeah, because, like, Kay fell down the hatch into the secret lair. We've established that, where all the, like, props or whatever were. So clearly... But the murder... The body was found in the room below it, so... That one was extra satisfying knowing it was coming, too. We were also told she was found just wandering around, if I recall. Is that what they said? Okay. We've yet to hear much about the circumstances under which Kay was found. She was lying unconscious in the storeroom, correct? By Needler. Right, that's the nurse duo, right? That's right, although I'm not at liberty to tell you how I know that. He knows things even we didn't. In fact, he seems to be aware of every tiny detail about this case. This could be a valuable clue. Oh wait, this is the new one. The suspect, Kay Faraday. How much do you know about her exactly? I know that she's the suspect. Aside from that, not much else. Cross my heart, but it's true. It has been like a month, I want to say. 2 weeks. But yeah. Time to deploy my clue. Yet you know every other detail about this case. Sorry, but the more you tell me, the less sense your story makes. For one thing, you know the details of even those investigating the scene we're not aware of. Why is that? Just how much do you really know, Chairman Winner? Oh, he's lighting his torch. Are we getting there? We getting close? Ho ho ho! There's an intimidating face you like to make again. Well, two can play at this game. How do you like me now? How do you like me now? We're gonna bide because you're on fire. I do have to commend your doggedness. Probably more like 3 weeks though. Doggedness. It really is something. I'll take it as a compliment. Take it however you like. But wrap up this, will you? I just don't have the stamina anymore. Dogged. Yeah. I've heard that term before, but my brain was like, wait, what? She's the culprit. The only possible suspect. Just accept that already. How much more evidence did you want us to load her down with, for goodness sake? Like how dogs are so mind. Dottie, that got held. Allow. That's funny. For some reason, that was like spam or something to the thing. I wish it did. Should I have denied the message? It was a typo. I don't even know why that got flagged. It was like it wasn't even something that you set up, Bubbles. It was like an auto detect thing. load her down with. This entire conversation has just been when he mentions that they like manufactured stuff or like they had a hand in like framing her, just click that button. Load her down with it. Yet another interesting turn of phrase. One makes it sound a lot like the items Kay was carrying might have been foisted upon her. Your Automod is biased against me. It does seem to go against you the most, Donnie. Impressive. You really do pay attention, don't you? It's no wonder they used to call you a prodigy, Mr. Ex-Prosecutor. I think you know the answer to your own question by now. Why don't you just go ahead and say it? I want to hear it from you. It's finally time to shed light on the truth. All that's left is to play one last move. Kay is innocent? I mean, that's been there the whole time. Kay is innocent. No, my boy, that's just clumsy. Anyone can blurt out a baseless assertion like that. Even a disgraced superstar prosecutor. Oh, did I mess up? Oh, apparently I have a clue. The way he waves around the lighter in the animation, I'm assuming he's covering up some major flatulence. Time to deploy my clue, except I know it wasn't her. Kay was framed. The true culprit set it all up so she would take the fall instead. That is my answer, and I won't let you deny it any longer. He did light his beard on fire. It didn't burn up, though. My, you really are a sharp one, aren't you? It's a bit of a shame you chose to hand in your badge. I admit it, you're right on all accounts. And that's checkmate. Not that it really matters. We're not in a court of law. We didn't prove shit to anyone else. We just proved that we knew what happened to the guy who probably did it. Or is at least covering up for the person who did do it. One of the two. Considering apparently this case goes into the 5th one, my assumption is more likely that he's covering up for the person who did it, but we'll see. Okay. You knew Kay wasn't the real murderer, and yet you still had her arrested. What's worse, you thought you could get away with it. Well, you won't. Not if I can help it. There you go with your naivete again, my boy. I guess that was always your problem. With the girl arrested and the convictions secured, this whole mess goes away, and that's what will happen. But whose interest does a conclusion like that serve? The committee's, I suppose. And mine. Ho, 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 ho. You know, listening to you just now, well, it really got the tears flowing, I have to say. It was poignant and heartfelt and sincere, and utterly infuriating. Look, I'm not perfect. I know that. But your lack of sophistication in these matters is beyond the pale. You insist that the truth is more important than anything else. But would you say the same if you knew what the real value of the truth is? What are you trying to say? When you get to my level, you don't uncover the truth. You make it. Little by little. Kay Faraday, murderer. That's the truth. The truth I created. When he's not crying, he's flirting. Yes, my boy. That's what I like to see. You're so sincere, sometimes it's painful. It just makes me want to put you in your place. Knowing the real truth will get you nowhere. Because that's how much it's worth. Nothing. Shocking, I know. But why not go after the real killer? How much do you even know about what really happened? You're still not getting it. That's your truth. And it's worthless. Mine is all that matters. You understand what I'm saying, don't you, Mr. Ex-Prosecutor? I have all the power here. Curse you! Well, aren't you menacing? You and your little friend are just as bad as each other. Violent criminals who deserve to be locked up. You'll pay for this. And with that, yet another person disappears from my life. Oh, it just makes me want to cry, and cry, and cry. Welp. I'm not planning to disappear just yet, Chairman. Chairman Winner. There's still a hearing later today. Just you wait. One way or another, I'll prove Kay's innocence to the world then. Oh. Oh, God. It's funny because there was a small part of me that was kind of like, oh, we're going to see all the different jury members from the Great Ace Attorney all like lined up. It also would have been really funny if, like, for some reason Winston Payne was on this council. Okay. Oh, God, I just noticed Lotta's here. Apparently I blocked her out because I was too busy looking at the council members. Okay. April 6th, 8:30 a.m. Committee of Prosecutorial Excellence, Chamber. Considering how incompetent and corrupt they are. 10 members, over a majority, are present. I hereby call this hearing to order. We are gathered here today to assess the professional competency of Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth. Here, in the sight of the goddess, we do solemnly swear to pass fair and frank judgment. It would make sense for Payne to be on it. Yeah. Fair and frank. Don't make me laugh. Verity, if you would be so kind as to summarize the case against Mr. Edgeworth. On April 5th, despite having advised on the illegality of the investigation he was conducting, the accused refused to desist and eventually had to be detained by myself and Chairman Winner. His actions compromised the investigation into murder of a certain defense attorney, and despite having been presented with copious evidence of her guilt, he continued to insist that the suspect 1K Faraday is innocent of all charges. Perhaps you could explain in detail the murder to us as well. Of course. On the morning of the 5th, the body of the victim was found here in the committee chamber. Further explanation will be provided by me, Eustace Winner, Premier Prosecutor. The floor is yours, Mr. Winner. The murder itself happened late on the night of the 4th. The victim was Miss Rosie Ringer. The same night, an illicit auction was being held here in this very room. Ringer took part in that auction, I think. Yeah. Okay. I bid $350. I feel like Kite from Xenoblade and Eustace would be good friends. Meaning that the murder took place sometime during the auction. When she was found, Ringer was dressed in an outfit that matched the description of the auctioneers. However, due to the fact that the auction carried out
carried on after the murder had occurred, I deduced that Ringer was not in fact the auctioneer.
You deduced nothing of the sort. And what about the basis of which the suspect was detained, Mr. Winner?
Yeah, I got this. So Faraday was overcome by...
Crushing remorse, Eustace.
Yeah, that. Tons of crushing remorse. So, she confessed. According to her confession, she was on the roof of this building when she encountered a person in a red raincoat on the viewing platform.
And that person was Miss Ringer, I take it. Precisely, Mr. Chairman. The killer dressed the victim in the auctioneer's outfit after the fact. But at the time when she was killed, Miss Ringer was wearing a red raincoat. And who
won the race to find the raincoat nearby? Me. That's who.
Did you? I thought it was somebody from the forensics. Strictly speaking, it was found by one of the forensics investigators under Mr. Winner's command. I knew it.
The blood analysis on the coat showed that it was indeed Miss Ringer who had worn it.
Yeah, these three are very different voices to bounce between. A little bit.
And the suspect's confession was the final nail in the coffin. She confirmed having committed the murder. So, as you can see, Kay Faraday was the killer. There's no way anybody else could have done it.
All right, Miles. I expect you to have some objections. Let's get them out of the way, shall we? I have no objections, Chairman Winner. Well, now, is that so? I thought it would have taken more than... No objections to the matter of my unauthorized investigation, that is. But in the matter of Miss Faraday's supposed guilt, I have plenty. I can personally attest to the fact that Mr. Winner's investigation was fair and impartial.
Of course it was. When it comes to carefully conducted ops, I'm the winner every time.
You know, Miles, it's within my power to offer you a plea deal of sorts. If, and this is purely hypothetical of course, you were to withdraw your objections, you might wake up tomorrow and find yourself the proud owner of a seat on this committee. I don't think Miles wants to be on your committee. It's corrupt as hell. It's also pretty obvious that a lot of people on this council were at that auction. So, I ask you again, do you have any objections, Mr. Edgeworth? If you think you can buy my silence, think again. You will watch your mouth. Only if the chairman watches his. I didn't come here to talk about the committee seats. I came here to talk about the murder case. I demand a statement under oath, and I won't rest until I have one. I want to know exactly what the committee's view on this incident is. You want to put us on trial, my boy. Very well, if it will make you happy. Verity. Please provide Mr. Edgeworth with the materials pertaining to the case. Really? But, sir... This will be his last hurrah, so let's humor him with a send-off he desires. Verity is so confusing to me. Because, like, I can tell that she thinks well of us, even prior to her coming to visit us in jail. And I can tell that she kind of gets that he's fucked up, right? Like, but also, like, there's some ways that she, like, rejects to things that kind of still feels like she's just drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit. But I don't know if that's just her giving up on trying to, like, fix things, or or what. She really believes in the system. If you say so, Mr. Chairman. Evidence was received from... Oh, I got it back? Okay, I need to look at that real quick, because like we were saying, it's been a while. Okay, that's the pin, the mask. They had the letter exchange between the two. It's the stub to get into the building. This is the corsage, the missing piece. We found there was part of it on the body and part with Kay. It's the blueprint. Kay's... Remembers a person coming from behind the concession stand. Right, that weird thing where it was like a ghost or something. The key card, which is the only way to get in. That candelabrum, which was upstairs. The body with the holes in it. And then she also got a head injury post-mortem. We found out. That's the one that says Verity's on it, because I'm pretty sure Verity's going to get charged with it once we prove Kay is not the murderer. But we'll see. The letter. Her outfit, which looks like what the ringleader wore. Oh, that's not the button I meant to hit. I don't remember Lotta's thing at all. Illicit auctions were being held in the big building. Items that are on sale were mainly items the police officers related to homicide cases. 11 attendees went together. All were wearing masks. Auction continued even after the murder occurred. Okay. This thing that was in the Zenfa's office. The masks. Photograph of the mysterious figure in the red coat. Yeah, she's wearing the coat. She's got the blood on her hands. Because we found blood on the ladder, which is what this part is. Oh, no, that's the one on the floor. But we did find blood on the ladder, too. Box in which the killer hid the body, right? All the blood down in the committee chamber. And the red raincoat, whose fingerprints and blood were found on the hood. Worn by the victim. Gotcha. Okay. I'm totally ready for this next part. Totally. You've no objections to Verity representing the committee, I assume? None whatsoever. Mr. Edgeworth! Don't worry, Kay. Everything will be fine, you'll see. Will it? Will everything be fine? The committee's view on the case. Miss Ringer attended the auction as a potential buyer. The red raincoat was one of the items up for sale. So our assumption is that after winning and paying for the item, she left the auction with her purchase. The only exit from the storeroom was, of course, the hatch leading onto the roof. After she emerged from the viewing platform, that's when Miss Ringer was attacked by Miss Faraday. Shortly thereafter, her flame went out, and thus concludes the committee's view on the case. The raincoat was on offer that night. Is that really true? We believe so, yes. You remember the failed assassination attempt of the president of Zenfa, I assume. The raincoat is a piece of evidence from that case. It should, of course, have remained safely under lock and key in the appropriate facility. But our inquiries revealed that it did in fact go missing under mysterious circumstances. And wound up in the auction along with everything else. That makes sense, I suppose. Wonderful work, Verity. Just wonderful. Crystal clear as ever. You flatter me, sir. Now, Mr. Edgeworth, perhaps you could save us all the time and simply admit defeat. Why would I do that? I'll do no such thing, thank you very much. Very well. It's good to know that you still have some fight in you. Is it? Why? Come to think of it, she said some strange things when she visited me this morning, too. What exactly is she up to? That's the thing, right? Like, obviously, like, I feel like the intent is that she is up to, like, something, right? Like, that she wants to take down this corrupt asshole. But there's a lot of parts of it where it kind of feels like that's not the case. Like, honestly, it's kind of giving me a little, like, not the same way, obviously, but, like, it's kind of, like, giving me in Great Ace Attorney the way, like, Baron Von Zieks would be, where, like, most of the time he's kind of helping us towards the goal, but then sometimes out of nowhere he'll, like, gaslight the hell out of you. Look, it's fair to be honest. 75% of it is we want the cool, hot, cool lady to be on our side. I mean, that is true. Okay. Attended the auction as a potential buyer. Okay. In other words, a member of the committee was actively involved in the illegal evidence trade. It is unfortunate. I don't know what else to say. And of course, we'll be looking into such activities as soon as this hearing is over and done with. I commend your decision to pursue the matter further, Mr. Chairman. Oh, don't be silly, Verity. It's the least we can do, really. Not that it's any of your business, Miles. Not anymore. If only you had remained a prosecutor. But you didn't. Now, if we're quite done making the old man cry over this whole sad affair. Very well. Let me continue. Red raincoat was one of the items for sale. Hold it. So the raincoat really was one of the auction slots. That is correct. I believe it originally belonged to Mr. Shelley de Calais. Considering the status of the piece of evidence, its only logical conclusion. It's from when he made his attempt on the president's life. There was an unexplained mannequin standing amongst the other items on sale. Yes, Edgeworth. Could it have well have been used to display the coat prior to the auction? Do we know how the items were being smuggled in? That is still under investigation, and is entirely unrelated to the matter at hand. Well, I wouldn't say entirely unrelated, but fair. Especially considering that you will officially be a prosecutor no longer, Mr. Edgeworth. It sounds like the outcome of this hearing is a foregone conclusion. No surprises there. My personal circumstances aren't important right now. Please continue, Your Honor. As I was saying, the raincoat was one of the items up for sale. So our assumption is that after winning and paying for it, she left the auction with her purchase. Why did she leave so soon after making her purchase? Because the auction house rules. Winning bidders are expected to pay for their items immediately. Miss Hart told us pretty much the same thing. Miss Ringer, having paid for the raincoat, probably left immediately afterwards in accordance with the rules. The only exit from the storeroom was, of course, the hatch leading up to the roof. Well, no, that's not true. Hold it. Although, we do know that she took that way. So, Miss Ringer was a member of the committee. Could she not have left the committee chamber via the main door? Oh, I guess they're implying that, like, she couldn't have left through the committee chamber, and then Miles is literally saying that right now. While the auction was still underway, because the auction was happening in the committee chamber. Right. Okay. That would risk exposing the existence of those outside the trusted circle of attendees. Given that Miss Hart found out about it, I think its existence is already well and exposed. The rules of the auction state that the attendees were to enter and leave via the hatch in the roof. Miss Ringer had no reason to follow those rules. Not to follow those rules. And given that where the murder took place, we know that she must have done so. She emerged onto the viewing platform. That's when Miss Ringer was attacked by Miss Faraday. Okay. But why? What possible motive could Kay have had? That is exactly what we are hoping to establish with our upcoming interview with Miss Faraday. Coercive interrogation after the fact. Something you seem to specialize in. If the murderer knew the attendees would all be leaving via the hatch, then the roof would have been the perfect place to lie in wait. So as I was saying, after she emerged onto the viewing platform, that's when Miss Ringer was attacked. I have to think it out, and this concluded. Okay. Okay, but in the picture, she has blood on her hand, right? So that implies that she was attacked already before she went up, I think. But she was still up. So the blood might not have come from the attack. I don't know if I'm overthinking this or I just don't have good memory. Right? Because in the picture, this is her leaving the auction. Because this was Lotta's picture, right? There's also like what Lotta told us, which was like, it's Lotta. Photo was taken after the incident by Lotta, who was snuck into the storeroom. The ringleader and the auction attendees came up on the elevator. A scream was heard not long after. I guess it could also be that this mysterious person is not Miss Ringer. Except it is her because we know from her picture here she has blood on her hand. Okay. I think I'm overthinking this. Okay. Cavill basically functions as the opposing prosecutor. Yeah, it's true. Maybe you can clear some things up for me, Judge Gavel. But what is Miss Hart doing here after this hearing? At this hearing? She is an eyewitness. I thought it would be obvious. Well, now, I ain't an eyewitness. More of an ear witness, I guess. Hey, she's not exactly the most confidence-inspiring choice to help make your case, is she? I like to think I choose my allies a little more carefully than you, Mr. Edgeworth. Hey, now. You do not call into question my allies. Gumshoe might be a questionable detective, but he is a loyal friend, and Kay is my daughter, so... Did you work for a corrupt organization? Exactly. Then you should question them more thoroughly, because there's something she hasn't told you. Take a look at this. This photo was taken by Miss Hart. Yes, in the storeroom, correct? What of it? According to your theory, the murder occurred up on the roof. But according to Miss Hart's testimony, she happened to witness the entire incident unfold in the storeroom, just before she took this picture.
What? You're saying Gavel got it?
Wrong. That's exactly what I'm saying. Okay, so that's the implication, because she heard the scream in the room.
What?
Miss Hart, if I may confirm your account of the events that you witnessed that night, you saw the person in this picture, correct?
I sure did. Clear as day. And with my own two eyes, too, to boot.
And what were your impressions on that point?
My impressions? This right here is a scoop of the century. Something like that. Yeah, that makes sense.
I was hoping more for your impressions of the person in question.
Oh. That there's a walking meal ticket?
Seriously?
It's just my little joke. No need to look at me like I done sat on your lunch. Old Rick Raincoat, right? Why, I took one look and I thought that's our perp right there.
And therein lies the rub. Miss Hart would... Oh, Mr. Edgeworth. When will you learn to use your words? If it's an explanation of the facts you require, you need only ask, you know. What do you mean? I assume you're about to raise the issue of the voices Miss Hart heard. Voices that may be unrelated. Unrelated? You can do better than that. Even Edgeworth is like, come on now. Was one of the voices Miss Hart heard really even Miss Ringer's?
You're kidding me, right? Them folks was talking crime, related turkey, or... It was talking crime. Related turkey, or my name ain't Lotta Danged Hart.
But did you hear them clearly?
Well, can't rightly say for sure, but... I can't rightly say nothing, and you know it. There was using voice changers, and I done told y'all that.
Precisely. Miss Hart heard voices, but those voices were disguised. Which means we cannot even be certain that whatever she did over here had anything to do with the murder.
Objection!
Now, Miss Verity Gavel. Heh. You don't need to yell objection in order to sigh at me, Mr. Edgeworth. It seems I overestimated you, Judge Gavel. Nonsense! Verity's the best of us, my boy. The very best. And yet, she still believes that what Miss Hart heard might not have been anything to do with the murder? Even supposing that was the case, it doesn't prove the murder didn't happen in the storeroom. The incident happened before the victim was able to go up on the roof. That much we can say for certain. And I can tell you why. This proves the incident happened before the victim went on the roof. Her hand. Yeah. Present. We initially thought that the person in the red raincoat was the culprit. Yes, because Miss Hart said as much. Indeed, she told us about the blood that she saw in this person's hand. And I doubt many people would have thought differently given her testimony. Ergo, if this person is the killer, then the blood we see would be from when they attacked the victim. But knowing what we know now, that this person is in fact the victim, it recontextualizes everything. The presence of blood still shows that the picture was taken after the attack, but now it tells us something very important about the victim too. This picture shares with us that the victim was the ringleader, struck the killer, survived the attack. Survived? There's no doubt in my mind that the victim was attacked in the storeroom, but here we have photographic evidence of her standing upright and alive, albeit with a bloody hand. This can only mean that Miss Ringer survived the attack. The blood on her hand is from the wounds that she had sustained.
What are you talking about? Who dies from a hand wound?
Also, if she was alive and she went up the ladder, that also means that, like, she likely is the one who pushed Kay down, right? Like, is that what we're assuming? Because she would have met Kay at the top. And then if she pushed her down, that Kay might have grabbed at her and pulled at the flower, and that's why she had a bit of the flower. Oh, oops, I didn't mean to hit that button. Okay, there you go.
What are you talking about? Who dies from a hand wound?
The wound wasn't on her hand, Mr. Winner. I imagine she used her hand to try and staunch a wound. That's right. While it's impossible to tell from this angle, the victim was already mortally wounded here. Ho ho ho! Well, that certainly would change things, wouldn't it? Very much would. Not least by making it absurd to suggest that Kay was the attacker. Her encounter with the victim happened after this picture was taken. After the victim had already been attacked and was in critical condition. I put it to you that all Kay witnessed was the victim finally succumbing to her wounds. That would have been quite the coincidence. It's a textbook case of wrong place, wrong time, I'd say. I missed the dialogue history option in the first trilogy. I really appreciate having it, especially when, like, Old Bag talks. Not that I really want to voice old bag lines, but it's almost impossible to, like, read them when you're, like, when she really gets going, you know? You seem to be forgetting a rather important fact, Mr. Edgeworth. Well, that, or pretending to not remember it. What? What fact am I forgetting? I think it's time to wrap up things, don't you, Verity? Put the boy out of his misery.
Dad, Gavel works for me.
Yeah, okay, Eustace.
Why do you keep giving her orders? That's my job.
You really are a total and utter embarrassment.
I am not.
I hate to break it to you, but you both are.
Go to it, Gavel. Put Edgeworth out of
his misery.
As you wish.
Guys, you shouldn't have pocket judges. Just saying. I'm forgetting. Miss Ringer's body was found with 3 wounds in her chest. And we all know what those wounds are from, don't we? That's right. They're from when she was stabbed in the chest by the 3-armed candelabrum. I doubt anybody could survive such grave wounds. If you care to read the coroner's report, I'm sure you would change your tune. Make several objections, yes, I'm afraid I will.
What? Why? Were you listening?
Oh, I was listening, very carefully, in fact. Hence my objections. Well, when you're corrupt, you really do want pocket judges. Fair enough.
Come on, why do you always have to undermine me?
That's never my intention, I assure you.
It isn't?
Because you do it so well yourself every single time already.
Of course it isn't. Yeah, I knew that, because I'm...
Please, Eustace, please just stop for goodness sake. You've already embarrassed me enough.
Huh? What do you mean, Dad?
Damn. Was found with 3 wounds in her chest. Okay. 3 wounds. That can't have been pleasant. Yes. Which is why we must see if the perpetrator of this cruel act pays for her sins. I... Don't listen to her, Kay. She's just trying to scare you. If we could please continue on, Judge Gavel. Very well. As I was saying, there are 3 wounds. Oh, that was pointless. We know these wounds are from, don't we? Yeah, the candelabrum. That's right, they're from when she was stabbed in the chest by the 3-armed candelabrum. Hold it. And you're sure the stabs to the chest were the cause of death? There's no doubt about that. None. One of the spikes of the candelabrum even pierced the victim's heart. And unless you mean to call Dr. Hertz's professional opinion into question, we can only treat it as fact. I don't know, she's like under you guys' employ. I could see her just saying whatever you tell her to.
The coroner's opinion backing up my own winning ones? Now that's what I call a flawless victory.
Well, I'm certainly not about to ignore the coroner's findings.
Hey, what about my findings? You can't just ignore them.
But if the cause of death really was the puncture wounds of to the chest from the candelabrum, that would seem to contradict one of the pieces of evidence we've gathered. Does it?
He's not ignoring my findings. He's ignoring me. Do something, Gavel.
As you wish. At the very least, I will ensure that he can't ignore my own conclusions. Stabbed in the chest by a 3-armed candelabrum. So Miles seems to think this contradicts something, so I need to figure out what that is. Victim's body discovered in the committee chamber. Preliminary findings place time of death sometime late last night. Cause of death was serious set of puncture wounds. We do know that. Left side of the victim's chest by the candle holder. Victim also suffered a head injury post-mortem. Other remarks, prominent burn on the back of the victim's right hand. Okay. Age and gender could not be discerned. Masks. Okay, let's look at the candelabrum. There is blood on it. Well, I guess there is no stab wounds in the raincoat. But she was wearing it. But there's blood on her actual jacket. So ringleader of the auction. Gotta believe in yourself, mademoiselle. Okay, I'll go with the rain jacket. Oh! Trust in the Katie that believes in Katie. Chairman Winner, do you know what this is? You know what this is, of course. The red raincoat. That's right, isn't it, Verity? Yes, sir. The one Miss Ringer was wearing. I warn you, Mr. Edgeworth, you would not be thanked for retreading on old ground here. Well, I'm afraid I might have to regardless. Now then, if you'll answer me this, Judge Gavel. You told us the victim's bloodstains were found on the red coat on the coat. But do you remember where exactly they were found? Of course, they were found in the hood and... No. What's the matter, Verity? The hood and... Was the blood found anywhere else on the raincoat? No, it was not. Doesn't that strike you as odd? The victim died with stab wounds to the chest. Wouldn't that lead to one to expect to find bloodstains in that area? And yet, there was blood only on the hood. That's a glaring contradiction if I've ever saw one. The clue here was they brought up the coroner's report and trusting in her, and the red raincoat is like, you think, bitches? The head wound of the victim suffered wasn't just some incidental injury. It was inflicted before the stab wounds to her chest. Okay, so wait, then that means that the report was bad because the blood was on the hood. Okay, so they lied. The bitches lied, is what we're saying here. Perhaps you are correct. Perhaps the victim did sustain the head injury first. As you said, if she had been stabbed first, there should be blood on the chest area of the raincoat. Therefore, Miss Ringer cannot have been stabbed before the head injury had been inflicted on her. But even if we conceded this point, that head injury came before the chest wound. What difference would it make? How does it change our understanding of this case? I'd say it changes a great deal. In fact, it raises an even more fundamental contradiction. That is quite a bold claim, Mr. Edgeworth. I have to admit, you have me intrigued. Perhaps you could show us this fundamental contradiction with some evidence. Which piece of evidence best just demonstrates the contradiction? The order of injuries revealed. Well, the fact that the coroner says it's the opposite, I guess. Which one is that? Is that this? No, that's hard. I have a coroner's report, don't I? I think I just went past it. Where did it go? Is it on the first page? Oh wait, I'm looking for a paper. I'm sorry, I forgot. This is Dr. Hertz's preliminary findings, according to which the victim suffered a head injury post-mortem. I was looking for a piece of paper as the image, and that's why I missed the whole like thing. That was my bad. But the order suggested by the bloodstains on the raincoat is exactly the opposite, yes. Bailiff, this court hereby subpoenas Dr. Hilda Hertz to the committee chamber with all due haste. Until she testifies, this case cannot be brought to close. 20 seconds of our lives lost forever, Katie. I'm sorry! Are they really spewing all this BS in front of my leftover beef stew? JK was good content. Yes, Your Honor. I'll go fetch her at once. Unfortunately, Dr. Hertz is a very busy woman. I doubt she'll be able to come immediately. In the meantime, there is another important angle I would like to explore. Frankly, something has been bothering me about the person at the heart of this case. The so-called ringleader. Who exactly are they?
Yeah, good point. We never looked into that, huh?
Despite having mentioned repeatedly in this hearing, we still don't know even the most basic facts about that might help us uncover their identity. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any thoughts on the matter? We've seen nothing that might serve as a clear evidence of the auctioneer's identity as of yet, but there is someone involved in the case that I can name. A suspect that, at the very least, they might be able to point us in the right direction.
And that is?
Chairman Winner, I demand that you testify as to what you know. Oh, okay then.
What?
Oh, come on, Eustace. You know your dad is crooked as hell.
Are you crazy? Why would you accuse my dad?
You would cast doubt on the integrity of chairman of the committee. Yes, we definitely would, Gavel. Do you understand the implications of such an act? I don't care who or what he is. We're talking about the truth here. And about a man who seems dead set on framing Kay at all costs. The mask, corsage, ticket stub, and everything else. The items Kay was carrying when she was found. They were deliberately placed in her possession somehow. I mean, let's be real. If the coroner is in their pocket and they were the ones treating her, they could have just put all the shit on her. Like, we already know the coroner report was wrong, so... By the chairman Winner himself. A shocking accusation, and one I find hard to believe. But for the sake of completeness, I must ask, why would he do such a thing? To cast suspicion on Kay, of course. Why else? I even managed to get him to say something to that effect. Chairman Winner, your rebuttal, please. I think the good chairman might be in shock. So what if I did? Wow, he just said it, hey? Did you hear me, dear boy? I said, so what if I did? You say you got me to admit as much, but where is your proof, I secretly recorded it. I wish. In the coroner's defense, she is both an old lady and an Ace Attorney character. Instead of being corrupt, she could just be either senile or bad at her job. I suppose that's fair. Incompetency, the true defense of any given character in the Ace Attorney series. With no witnesses to speak of, your word alone is hardly enough to make an accusation like that stick. Or do you mean to tell us that you have something more to base your outburst on? He still has the arrogance he showed back at the detention center, and yet... Mr. Edgeworth, I am going to have to ask you to explain yourself. That is, if that is all right, Mr. Chairman. Not at all. I'll be very interested to hear this for myself. I'm intrigued to learn where Miles might have gotten the idea that I'm some sort of criminal. Oh, dude. Because you'll never find a more fine and upstanding citizen than myself. He has a lot of nerve, acting all innocent like that. Very well, let us start at the very beginning. The fact that the auction took place right here in this hallowed trial chamber is a point of suspicion. Also, I just beat a level 58 unique enemy, but I didn't have Soul Hacker equipped because Lance is now Fiona's class. 10 pointless minutes. It's okay, you just fight it again! Get even more levels. Anyway. Location that should, by rights, only be accessible to members of the committee.
Yeah, they all have keycards to this room after all.
Furthermore, these auctions seem to be held on a somewhat regular basis. And for that to be possible...
There can only be one winning explanation.
That's right, Mr. Winner. The auctioneer is a member of the committee.
What? No!
What on earth is wrong now?
What do I do, Dad? I played right into his hands.
Ho ho ho, you did indeed, you utter nitwit. But Miles, my boy, you do realize that you've cast quite a wide net with your explanation. This is true. There are 11 members of the committee altogether. 10 given Miss Ringer's unfortunate passing. 10 potential suspects in total. Well, it certainly isn't me. And it can't be the chairman, can it? Whoever it is, speak up right now. Calm down, all of you, please. Guys, it's the chairman. None of you matter. None of you have actual Ace Attorney designs. Oh my god, someone wants someone to get me top viewers. Well, Miles, is that all the proof you have got against me? You're very quiet all of a sudden. But it's too late to back out now. You've accused a former chief prosecutor and the current committee chairman of the crime. I would tell you to prepare for the worst. But there's no preparing for what you're about to face. Oh god, his crazy eyes are a lot. Also, thank you for that. Know your place. You've been forcing us to argue over every little detail for a while now. Where the murder happened, what the order of the victim's injuries, some other things I hardly even remember. But you needn't have bothered, my boy, because it's all irrelevant in the end. Think about it. The suspect herself has already said she did it. That's all that matters at the end of the day, and her sentence will be lighter for it. So rejoice! And there you have it. Feel free to pick holes as you see fit. How can I when there was barely a testimony to begin with? That man, he's a very powerful person, isn't he? It's okay, Mr. Edgeworth. Please, just let it go. I did it. I'm the murderer. I even remember doing it. No, you don't, Kay. You just remember them on the ground. You saw a flash of something half-remembered, Kay. Nothing more. You must believe in something. Believe in the me that believes in you. Believe me when I say you should believe in your own innocence instead. So basically that. If Edgeworth could mention Phoenix more than twice per investigation game, he'd probably be like, is this how being right feels with every prosecutor? And Phoenix would be like, yeah, baby, it is. It sucks, doesn't it? Pretty much. But I'm up against the head of the committee here. This isn't going to be easy. But he seems to think he's already won. Perhaps I can use that against him. It's wild that this is case 4, by the way. Like, I know you've told me that, like, case 5 is a continuation of this, but it is wild that this is the case 4, right? Like, it feels like it's the final case. Which, obviously, it kind of is, but, like, it continues on. That's more Covenant-esque than you'd expect from Edgeworth. It was. Okay. You've been forcing us to argue over a little detail. That's not going to be anything. Injuries, some other things I hardly even remember. Hold it! I seem to recall the ringleader's identity and the faulty coroner's report being a critical point of contention. Yes, I was listening, my boy, but critical is a matter of opinion. How can you possibly suggest that such a fundamental issues are not important? Perhaps it is your ability to make sound judgments that should be on trial here today. It gets really wild when you move on to prosecute the goddess of justice. / kidding. This case that never ends. Yes, it goes on and on, my friends. I mean, it hasn't reached that tier yet. We did that last investigations game with the freaking last case, my lord. Oh ho ho, bravo, my young hothead. Wonderfully cutting stuff. Do you like to try, though? You do like to try, though, don't you? But you needn't have bothered, my boy, because it's all irrelevant in the end. Okay. Think about it. The suspect herself has already said she did it. Okay. Just because she confessed to something doesn't make it the truth. Kay is suffering from amnesia, so any statement she makes should be taken with at least a grain of salt. I mean, yes. Objection. Even so, it doesn't exactly solve anything for us, does it, dear boy? And it would be nonsensical to dismiss her confession outright. I'll tell you what, why don't we ask her one last time? Though I'm sure she'll just say she did it again. Fine, let's do it. Let's ask her again. We'll see if she really believes herself to be the culprit. Huh? You mean me? Is this really what you want, Mr. Edgeworth? If it goes badly, it could significantly weaken your position. I know, but there's no other way. I only request that I be the one to question her. Okay. You really know how to tug at an old man's heartstrings, you know. But fine, ask away. On one condition. If this turns out to be a waste of time, that's it. Oh, okay. We'll call the proceedings to an end, and then then and there, agreed?
Call the proceedings to an end? You mean the hearing?
Yes, dear boy, that's right. Perhaps you aren't complete muddle-headed after all. Now, just so we're clear, if we ask again, and all that happens is the girl confirms her guilt, she is officially declared guilty on the spot. Yes, that sounds like a great plan, if I do say so myself. That's it. You just declare her guilty like that. That's the gist of it. It's a big risk, but he's going to find a way to condemn her either way if we don't do something. Kay. Yes? I know it's a lot to ask, but I need you to think. Do you remember anything else about what happened on the day of the murder? Anything that might help us prove your innocence? Why? Why are you still fighting it, Mr. Edgeworth? It's no use. I can't be of help to you. I'm sorry. Aw. I'm too scared to try and remember anymore. What if I remember something even worse? And if I did, I'd just be making more trouble for you. Please, just accept it. The Kate you thought you knew is a dangerous criminal. A criminal who let you down and betrayed your trust. Aw. Don't worry, Kay. You have nothing to be afraid of. Oh, what is this sitting here? Due process? Tosses it out the window. Who needs that, right? I know, right? I may not have known you for very long, but I know you well enough. You know, it's true. It's crazy to think, like, this. He's only known Kay for, like, what? 2 weeks? Maybe a month? I may not have known you very long, but I know you well enough. And right now, I'd say I know you better than you know yourself. You would never commit murder. You could never, because this is who you really are. Jesus, that's half the health bar. I like how they start it. They're like, here's the pin. Yeah, obviously. Considering each investigation game takes place over a week. Yeah. You're the great thief Yatagarasu. A noble outlaw who would never stoop so low as to kill. Aww. That's really cute, though. I can't do it. I'm sorry. Because all I can see is the one memory that returned. I have to face it. No, the only evidence of your guilt is the confession they forced out of you. As I said earlier, you have to believe that you're better than that. Or are you saying you don't believe a word of what I've been telling you? No, it's not that. You're trying so hard to help me. And you're risking so much for me. It's too much. You have to stop. I'm begging you. Ah, so that's what's going on. I thought it was strange, but now I see. The reason you're allowing yourself to be railroaded into accepting your fate is because of me, isn't it? Which is exactly what the Kay I know would have done. You're a good person, Mr. Edgeworth. Sorry to burst your bubble, but I'm not. And I don't plan on becoming one anytime soon. Because despite all your wishes to the contrary, I'm still trying to help you. So you see, I've merely been servicing my own ego, regardless of what I put you through. Now, let's try this again. See the good in yourself, Kay. Remember the noble thief you truly are. That memory of you committing the murder, you need to question it with all you have. That's all I ask. So please, do it for me. Hey, Zero. Kay. What's wrong? Did you remember something? Ho ho! It'd be like some cliche movie plot if she did. A cow. What? Endure the psychic damage. Do it for me doesn't hit the same, though, Edgeworth, not gonna lie. Everyone's like, a cow?
A cow?
Mr. Edgeworth, if you could perhaps ask her for a few more details. Well, Kay, can you tell us about this cow? I remember now. The person in the red raincoat, she had it in her hand. A stuffed cow. I can see it so clearly now. Okay, sure. Are you sure, Miss Faraday? Are you absolutely certain?
Yes, I'm sure.
Then this court acknowledges the defendant's latest statements as new testimony. Have you lost your mind, Verity? We can't accept testimony like this. With all due respect, Mr. Chairman, information pertaining to the victim and her possessions is a new and highly relevant evidence. Verity jumped on that immediately. She sure did. She's making moves.
Objection.
Need I remind you of the addled state of her memory? No, this simply won't do. You were fine when she confessed earlier. Addled, but we claim her memory is unreliable now, then our own argument is weakened, sir. You said yourself only a few minutes ago that thanks to the suspect's confession, we need not worry ourselves over finer details, did you not? Were we to call the validity of our memories into question, then we must also call into question the confession on which our entire argument is based. Also, I didn't mean that as a cow pun, but it is a cow plush. Yeah. We put a parrot on the stand, and a few years ago, anything is fair game. Is that really the most advisable course of action? Yes, you're right. Proceed as you see fit, then. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're still in the game, but only by the skin of our teeth. And only thanks to Judge Cavill's intervention. It's almost as if she was on our side for a second. Ooh. But that's impossible. Women aren't on my side, ever. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, the stuffed animal. I believe the cow in question is this thing here, Your Honor. We found it in the storeroom. I believe it is yet another auction lot. Oh. Wait, that's...
Huh? Do you know something, Gavel?
No, It's just not what I imagined. Okay. I suppose it is a rather odd thing for the victim to have been carrying. That's suspicious, though, because Verity wasn't a part of the first case where this thing came up. So, and she seemed to recognize it, so... I should look it over carefully. Okay. Well, it has a socket where I assume another horn would go. The left horn is missing. This hole. It looks like that's where the whole horn would have gone. But that doesn't look like stuffing in there. So what is it? Let's take a look at the rest of the toy and see what else we can find. Well, there's this patch here. Oh, sorry, a cherry blossom petal. My mistake. I should have known that. Suspicious as it will be ultimately dumb. There's a cherry blossom petal caught in the fur here. There were petals on the raincoat too. And a cherry tree in bloom up on the viewing platform. Oh no, low battery. Yeah, I know. I should plug it in, but I just didn't want to go do it. It definitely appear that it was taken outside at some point. He'll probably die in 2 or so hours. But what did the victim want with this thing? I will have to make sure to plug it in after, though. Okay, what else is there going on in this thing? Okay, okay, we can take this out, I assume. The right arm seems intact, but I can't say it's doing much for the overall symmetry of the stuffed toy.
Look, Mr. Edgeworth, it moves.
It does. Oh. Bzz-shik.
It sounds like sand being crushed.
It would seem there's a recording device hidden inside. That was the third warning. It's done. And... oh no, it's shh. Okay, I'm going to assume that this is I'm just gonna go with chairman for now. I knew it was you the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me. Nothing to say for yourself? I've waited so long for this day, and now I finally have my revenge. Okay, maybe it's not chairman. Shook. Ah, yes, the messed up cow plush. Nobody ever expects it to hide a recording device. I mean, maybe I should have expected that, because if I recall, the reason we saw this thing is it was sitting in the slot of where a broken, like, security camera in the president's plane was. Could this be the moment of the murder? And someone made a recording of it. Oh. Hey, that's them right there. Them's the voices I heard. Sure as eggs is eggs. And Colette is Colette. Unfortunately, we've no way of verifying these voices were recorded. It's possible they have nothing to do with the murder. If only there was some accompanying video footage. You got bugs in them ears or something, lady? I done told you, them's the voices I heard. And we already know the victim was holding that thing, right? So it's gotta be from when she got it. Yes, it's a possibility, but a weak one without more than your word to back it up. We need something more, something credible. We need... Yet again, she seems to be stepping in help. Judge Cavill, I think we all know the voices are from the moment of the murder. Considering for a moment the words we heard the speaker say, I knew it was you the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me. I believe we have something that could explain what these words are referring to and how it's all related. Well, there's a burn on her hand. The coroner's preliminary findings. How do they prove anything? Indeed, what on this page shows the voices must be from the time of the murder. The victim also... The burn marks on the victim's right hand? Like... I guess I'll highlight the word burn? I don't think they've ever had me have to select a word on a page before. Think again on the words we heard. This part in particular sticks out in my mind. You can't hide that burn from me. The victim had a prominent burn mark on the back of the hand. And I like how he's burning his... Are we implying that Excelsius is the one who did that to her? Because that seems to be what I'm getting from that. Okay, I'm going to quickly grab my charge cord for my controller just in case. Okay. I can at least charge it a little bit so that it doesn't, like, die before the end of the stream. According to Kay's testimony, the victim was carrying a stuffed cow toy, and the burn mark, an identifying mark unique to the victim, was mentioned on the recording it captured.
Hey, it was just a coincidence. Stuff like that happens all the time, right?
I'm not so sure it does, especially not in this case. A court accepts that the recording may be from the time of the murder. In which case, one of the two voices must belong to the real culprit. And based on the contents of the conversation, it seems likely that it's the one we hear the most.
But that still doesn't tell us anything about the killer's true identity. or even if they're male or female.
Due to the voice changes, correct. Unfortunate, but unavoidable. One thing, however, has become clear. We are now able to say that the voices Miss Hart heard were those of Miss Ringer and her killer.
I just done told you that they was.
We can say something else too, now too. Then let's hear it. That is, if you don't mind, Mr. Chairman. Do as you wish. According to Miss Hart, just before the murder occurred, two people came up to the storeroom from the committee chamber on the elevator. The ringleader and one of the auction attendees. It seems that this was the point at which money was exchanged hands. The murder happened immediately afterward, and the auction carried on after that, all of which points to one key fact. What else does the latest revelation tell us? Ringleader was the killer. The Miss Ringer was the killer. The ringleader was the victim. The ringleader was the killer. Since the ringleader was the auction's sole auctioneer, then it follows that they cannot be the victim.
Hey, Gavel.
Not right now, Eustace. There's a good boy. And if they weren't the victim, then they can only have been the killer. A compelling argument, but hardly conclusive. I am fully aware of that, Your Honor. I was merely warming up to the main event. There were certain traces left on the scene that seemed to suggest that the ringleader was the killer. Then please, hurry up and show us. What is something that was placed on the scene that points to the ringleader having been the killer? Was the fly? No. Blood found in the chamber. I mean, I guess if they fell first, that implies the killer deliberately left a large pool of blood at the foot of the goddess of justice statue. It was due to that blood that we originally thought the murder had happened in this chamber, but it was simply a ruse designed to cover up the blood that had been dripped down from the storeroom. In order to conceal the evidence of the underground auction, correct? Correct. Right. Okay, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. If the culprit had nothing to do with the auction, they would have had no reason to cover up that blood. Which further supports the theory that the ringleader and the killer were one and the same. And as to the identity of the ringleader, do you have anyone you'd like to name? The auction is always held in the committee's chamber, and with the storeroom located just overhead. So at the very least, we know the murderous ringleader had some connection to the committee. Yes. And you suspect me, correct? As the committee's most powerful member, that should hardly be a surprise, right?
Objection.
You're a fine prosecutor, I'll give that much I'll give you. But as I think I may have mentioned already, you're also hopelessly naive. You've got nothing, dear boy, have you? No evidence whatsoever. Unless you've got something to share, after all. Do I have any evidence to show the chairman winner is the murderer? Do I? I don't... I don't think so. Because they're recording their voice changers, right? So they can't hear anything there. We know the ringleader wore this outfit, but we don't have any evidence that it's his. Okay, I'm just gonna go with no. It was Chairman Winner himself who brought up the fact that I suspected him. And he seems confident right from the get-go that he's untouchable. Which means he knows. He knows I have nothing. Ho ho ho! Well, Miles, my boy, time to pay the piper. I've always wanted to say that. Verity, he's all yours. Hold it.
Wait, dang it. I just remembered something.
Oh no, is Hart gonna be our savior?
Huh? Did you have amnesia too? Nah, I just done came to me. Flash of inspiration, you know how it is.
Very well. Say your piece.
Objection.
What are you doing, Verity? Mr. Edgeworth has made it clear that he won't give up until every last lick of hope has been extinguished. So extinguish we must, lest he try to drag us through this excruciating process again in the future. Okay.
Yeah, what she said. I don't quite get it, but it sounded pretty cool. Don't worry, Dad. I'll help Gavel bring this to a winning finish. We'll show them how wrong they are.
Fine, let's hear what the witness has to say. You heard the chairman, Miss Hart. If you would be so kind.
Well, all right then. Here goes nothing.
The facts, Miss Hart, and nothing but the facts, please. Oh, that's never gonna work, Edgeworth.
Don't you worry your little head on that front. I'm a journalist. Truth's my little name.
Color me officially worried.
So the ringleader's the killer, right? Which makes the victim one of the auctioneer goers. Thing is, that don't add up. I counted 11 people coming down the hatch, see? Then the murder happened, and then the auction started back up again. Now, I had me a look back downstairs right after that.
No.
And wouldn't you know it, there were 11 little duckies all lined up in a row again.
How? And you're sure of this, Miss Hart?
Sure as I can be, your gavelship. Saw 'em with my own two peepers. So, 11 before the murder and 11 again right after means... Wait, that's a thingy.
That's a thingy. Truth is her middle name. If stretches the is her first. Yeah. A contradiction, Eustace. Do try to keep up. Miss Hart, did nothing really change after all?
I done told you already. They carried right on again like nothing ever happened.
Okay. But then that means... Okay, we know the auctioneer wore the same outfit as Rosie. So that implies to me they swapped places. So whoever swapped places with her is her killer, I would assume. Which means that obviously that's the ringleader. Guys, we already know the ringleader was wearing the same outfit as her, so... Alright.
Oh, set for... It was nothing much, but...
What is it?
That little old mallet doodad? Can't you have yourself an auction without one? Kind of like one Missy's got over there. Over there's got, but different.
The auctioneer's hammer.
That's the bunny.
That's the bunny?
I done heard that thing banging and clanging right the way through. Then nothing. Just like that.
So the noise of the hammer stopped midway, though. Could it have something to do with the murder? Okay. It's been updated. If what Miss Hart is telling us is true, we have something of a problem. Namely that the victim is neither the auctioneer nor one of the attendees. Your entire theory cannot stand, Mr. Edgeworth.
Chalk one up for justice. Eat that, Edgeworth.
See, Mr. Edgeworth, there really was nothing we could do. No, there must be something we're overlooking. Something we still don't have an explanation for. I just need to think. If I can't, Kay is... All right, kids. Do we finally have all our answers now? If so, I expect you'll make good on... Hold it. Oh, he's mad. One moment, sir. I worry that it might be a little early to pass judgment. After all, we have one more matter yet to resolve. And until we do, we cannot claim to complete and total victory over Mr. Edgeworth. Is that not so, Mr. Edgeworth? Frankly, I expected you to have raised your voice by now. A loud, hold it, perhaps. Oh, yes, of course. And once again, she has rescued us from the jaws of defeat. Very well, let's get this over with, shall we? What is it that one matter that still remains? Wait, the contradiction in the coroner's report, sir. That's, I'm back with the witness, Your Honor.
What's this all about? Why'd you call us back down here? Did somebody suddenly fall ill? I'll have to compress ready in 2 shakes of an ouch! This better be good. Did somebody else drop dead? Well, they might soon wish they had.
Dr. Hertz, Miss Needler, thank you for coming at such short notice. Let me assure you this won't take long.
Quit trying to butter me up and cut to the chase, will you?
Of course. We summoned you here to confirm something. What is Judge Gavel up to? Dr. Hertz, the court asks you to provide an unabridged truth regarding the following. Do you stand by your preliminary findings? Can you vouch for their complete and total accuracy?
Grandma doesn't make mistakes ever.
That's strange.
Huh? What do you mean?
In the course of this trial, an error was indeed found in her report. And so I ask again for the truth, Miss Dr. Hertz. Did you alter or tamper with, or in any way falsify your findings?
That's awful. How can you even say that? What are you asking me for? What the heck would I want to do that?
To help with the true culprit, of course.
As if I'd know anything about all that. I just know I didn't do anything of the sort.
Then that seems doubly strange. What other explanation could there be for a discrepancy in your report? Mr. Edgeworth? I wonder if you might have any thoughts on the matter. Okay. It's not like you to be coy, I must say. Why does she keep taking charge and helping me? I still don't know what she's trying to do, but I'll happily take what I can get. If everything was recorded accurately, then handed off to Mr. Winner according to protocol, then the report shouldn't contain any mistakes.
Wait, for the record, I didn't do anything to the report.
I guess we'll see, won't we? Dr. Hertz, perhaps you could begin with your side of the story.
Why do we need to? This is pointless.
I'll be the judge of that, which is pointless, thank you very much.
We have patients waiting back at the hospital. But, Grandma, ouch! We really don't have time for this.
Won't you please help us? I can't stress how important this is.
Grandma says she'll testify. But could you please make it quick? If we're not back soon, people will suffer.
And yet you had no qualms about taking your time and buying cotton candy last time we saw you. We'll let you go as soon as we can, I promise. Assuming you tell us the truth, that is. Oh, good. Are we going to be able to finish this case today? I guess we'll see. So-called mistaken report.
No way there's a mistake in Grandma's report. Not never.
Not never.
I've been dealing with the dead longer than you've been alive, Sonny Jim. Me writing something wrong is about as likely as... Ouch. And what the heck do you think I stand to gain by doctoring a file, Don't make a lick o' sense. And that's all she has to say. Nothing funky here.
This isn't the last part. Good to know. See, it's just as I thought. There's no chance the good doctor doctored her findings. And you swear by the holy goddess that testimony is true?
Of course. Grandma never told a lie in her...
But I think the part after this one is like the conclusion and epilogue of this. Okay. Your opinions are not necessary, Nurse Needler. Your grandmother is the subject of this inquiry, not you.
Not necessary? That's not fair. I'm the only ally poor Grandma has. Go ahead and shout objection left and right, but you best be prepared then, Mr. Ex-Prosecutor.
Oh, I'm more than prepared. I'm ready to expose the truth behind the error in the report. So-called mistake. There's no way there's a mistake. I've been dealing with the dead longer than you've been alive. Me writing something wrong is about as likely as... Ouch.
Hold it!
The victim appeared to have put this raincoat on after sustaining a head injury, and yet there was not a single drop of her blood in the chest area on the raincoat. Therefore, she must have been hit in the head before she was stabbed in the chest, making it pre-mortem. Careful, Edgeworth. Remember, after Old Bag, that old ladies are your unfavored enemies.
Oh, that... Ouch! I don't need you to teach me how to suck eggs, young man. My danged report already says what you just said, don't it?
Oh. Your report states that the head injury appears to have sustained post-mortem, which is exact opposite of what you just said.
Oh, sure. I diligently dictated that report to Florence here, and she wrote it all just like I said.
Oh.
If something happened to it after that, weren't nothing to do with me.
You dictated it. If you could please tell us more. Florence, you're sus. Okay, but we know that's not what was in the report. Again, this is the report, Katie. Dr. Hertz, I'd like you to take a look at the report for yourself.
Oh, I'll read it too. Youch!
Oh, she's just beating up her granddaughter.
This ain't what I said. This ain't what I said at all.
What? What do you mean exactly? Is Needler the villain this whole time? Is she the ringleader? No, I don't think so, but you know, she's clearly sus. Oh. They having a slap fest over there.
I don't know. But I can't say that.
Miss Needler, if you are attempting to bury Dr. Hertz's truth, I will gladly hear her confession myself on behalf of the Goddess of Justice. Dr. Hertz seems to be telling Judge Gavel something in private. What? I see. Very well. Allow me to relay to everyone what you have just told me. Ain't no doubt about what I said. I dictated my findings to Florence just like I told you I did. The fuddle-headed young thing must have wrote down wrong or something.
Wow, that was a great impression.
Yes, but was it really necessary? So, in summary, there's an error in the report. And it was all because of you, Nurse Needler. The true facts have now been shown to be that the head injury occurred prior to the chest wound. The question now is, Miss Needler, is why you introduce such an error? Just a minute, Verity. You make it sound as if the poor girl did it deliberately. Whereas it seems to me she made a little mistake. I mean, her grandma keeps hitting her head. The brain damage might not help her with recording reports accurately. That was a lot of sweat. Either they're nervous or they just did an instrumental rock performance. I think she'd remember having brain damage. Pre-mortem, post-mortem, they're practically the same word, don't you think? Except they mean two completely opposite things. This was deliberate, no doubt about it.
But why would she want to change it?
Exactly. Thanks, Kay. Ouch.
You won't get in anyway that easy. Explain yourself, young lady. But, Grandma,
You submitted a falsified report, an act that led to Kay being accused of murder. You owe us an explanation.
I can't tell you.
No doubt, not don't want to, but can't. This is really rather unpleasant, don't you think? Ganging up on this poor, considerate girl who's only looking after her grandmother. She has nothing to do with anything. She simply made one tiny mistake. So why not leave it there? You'd like that, wouldn't you? Because the only person her testimony would hurt is you. What on earth do you mean, my boy? Seeing as you're now the de facto ex-prosecutor, you're going to need to explain yourself better than that. I'd be happy to. I'll even spell it out for you. Nurse Needler's role in this crime was very important because she's the murderer, victim, she's the co-conspirator. There's no way she's the murderer. Nurse Needler conducted the report in order to cover up for her accomplice. Ho ho ho, so she's a co-conspirator, this young thing. Do you share your grounds for making such a wild accusation, dear boy? The murder couldn't have been committed by one person working on their own. Without at least two people, this wouldn't have been possible to do. I'm assuming... Oh, because there was a... Okay, yeah. Maintain attendee numbers. If the auctioneer was a murderer and the victim was one of the attendees, the fact that the witness testified to there being 11 attendees even after the murder doesn't make sense.
Hey, watch it. Y'all gotta call my good word into question now, too.
That's not what I meant. In fact, quite the opposite. I'm taking you on your word, which means there must be a co-conspirator. I know it's hard, my boy, but sometimes you just have to accept that you were wrong. Oh my god, dude. I wasn't wrong. I just hadn't considered the possibility of the killer having an accomplice. But as soon as we do, things start to fall into place. If the killer's accomplice returned to the auction room in place of the victim, there would indeed have been 11 attendees both before and after the murder. Well, so that's your thinking, is it? It's certainly an intriguing theory. But surely the imposter would have been spotted right away. I don't imagine that Nurse Needler looks strikingly different from the victim in build and stature. With the help of a mask, she could easily have replaced Miss Springer without anybody noticing. Well, Miss Nurse Needler, is that what happened? Did you take the victim's place at the auction?
I wouldn't do something like that.
Now tell us, the ringleader, who were they? I can't tell you, I just can't. It hurt Grandma, too. Oh. Ow, but Grandma. Don't worry about me. I can take it. You just tell me everything, child. But... Grandma! Oh, she's slapping her hair real good. Oh, dear. So I was right. She was an accomplice. Miss Needler, why? Well, Miss Needler, can you explain yourself? Yes. Huh? Oh, thank you, Grandma. But I'm all right now. I confess it. I changed places with Miss Ringer. So you admit that you were working with the ringleader? Yeah, I was helping them. I don't know how, but they found out Miss Ringer was going to attack them. The culprit was going to be attacked by the victim. Okay, we know that she was there for revenge. They seemed pretty sure it was going to happen that night, so they made a counter plan. They wanted to strike first, and they wanted me to help them. I was told to go to the storeroom before the auction began and wait there. Now hold on right there, Missy. I didn't see nothing, and my eyes don't lie. If you'd have been there from before the auction, I would have bumped right into you. I was there the whole way through, and you weren't there for a bit of it. But I'm not lying. Well, that's easy for you to say, but you were lying about altering the report only a few minutes ago. I think we're all aware of the number of potential hiding places in that storeroom. Are we? Where exactly are you trying to say our friend the nurse was hiding, Oops. Nurse Needler hid here while she was waiting in the storeroom. There was the place where the body was held, right? Yeah. She hid inside the clothes box. Oh, she did she? Huh? Well, it was there the whole time, even before I moseyed on in. But like I done told y'all, it had all them chains around it. Wanted to hide in there myself, really, but it was locked up tight, so I had to go elsewhere. I imagine that's because Miss Needler was already lying in there by the time you arrived. That's right. We didn't want anybody to open it, or it would have really blown our cover. So the ringleader told me to climb in and wait until the time for my part of the plan. And then they wrapped up the whole box up in chains. I think they took the elevator downstairs not so long after. It was just before the auction was due to start. So, as the auction was beginning, you and Miss Hart would have been the only people in the storeroom? Yeah, I think so. The auction proceeded as it always did, until the certain customer came upstairs to complete her purchase, and that was when the incident occurred. Miss Hart overheard the victim and the culprit exchanging words around them. You betcha, I was behind the statue there, shaking like a dame leaf the whole time. In the middle of their quarrel, Miss Ringer was killed by the auctioneer. I imagine that the auctioneer then carried Miss Ringer's body over to the clothes box, from which Nurse Needler emerged and swapped places with the victim. After placing Miss Ringer's body inside the box, Nurse Needler's role now was to pretend to be Miss Ringer. The two of them returned to the room below as if nothing had happened. Does that about sum up what happened in the storeroom, Nurse Needler? Yes, in fact, that's exactly what happened. Hold up, so you just waltzed right back on in and nobody noticed? This is two completely different people we're talking about. You telling me not one of the folks down there at the auction cottoned on? Why would they? The other auction goers had no reason to notice the difference between Nurse Needler when Nurse Needler entered because she took the clothes, I guess. As we've seen, Miss Ringer and Nurse Needler are about the same build. What's more, the auction rules required attendees to wear their masks at all times. If Nurse Needler were to wear the same clothes as Miss Ringer, nobody would have been any of the wiser.
No, and they weren't. I borrowed Miss Ringer's clothes and, ouch! And left the poor child in her smalls. Have you no respect, girl? No, Grandma, I thought the same thing. It wouldn't be nice to leave her like that. So when the ringleader wasn't looking, I put that raincoat on her.
Hence why she was wearing it. So that's how Miss Ringer came to be wearing it. Thus, the auction was able to carry on as before. Guess the part where I caught the red raincoat on film came just after. Yeah, must be. Then it all makes sense. Right after that was when I went on over and looked downstairs through the gap of the elevator. Spied me a living happy little auctioneers going back. Then back I snuck to my little hidey hole. Don't tell me you were hiding back there the entire time after that. Well, that is not exactly... What is it? Did something happen? So, maybe I ought to have mentioned this before, but I fell asleep for a few winks after that. Of course you did. Well, passed out unconscious, you might say. What? What happened? Oh, nothing much. Kind of silly, really, but, there was this sudden loud noise, and it startled me just a little bit, you know? Damn it, Lotta. Alright, maybe more than a little, but I just witnessed a murder. Can't blame a girl for getting jumpy. Yes, that got my heart shook and my head faint, and before I knew it, I was out like a light. By the time I came to, it was the next dang day, and there y'all were clanking down the ladder. I see, so you were startled by a loud noise, and fell unconscious. I suppose that means you don't know what happened after that. Not per se, but, well, after the auction was over and all the masks were back on the rack, so I reckon the guests were done up and filed out one by one like they were supposed to. Miss Needler, once the auction had restarted, what exactly were you doing?
I was pretending to be Miss Ringer and placing bids, just as the ringleader wanted. I had to win the clothes box, as I'd been instructed. It had a dead body inside, after all. Imagine if somebody else had won it. We would have been in real trouble then.
So you've had no idea the victim had vacated the box in the meantime?
No, not until we came back up so I could pay for it. That was when we noticed. The ringleader told me to go look for her right away. Except I found some other girl collapsed at the foot of the ladder instead.
Kay.
Yes, she must have fallen from up on the roof and been knocked unconscious.
Guess the victim must have left the hatch wide open, huh? That would explain it. Kay would have been so shocked by seeing Miss Ringer fall motionless right in front of her that she wouldn't have seen the open hatch and fallen right through it. That explains the noise that caused you to faint as well, Miss Hart. It was the sound of Kay crash landing onto the storeroom floor. Yeah, I suppose. Can't believe something like that done knocked me out for so long, though. So in summary, by the time Miss Needler found Kay, you were already sound asleep behind the statue. I think we've gotten a good grasp on what occurred up to this point now. Nurse Needler, if you would continue.
Sure. I found Kay, and next I found Miss Ringer, and I put them both in the clothes box. We couldn't risk any auction goers seeing them. That would have caused a real hullabaloo.
Was that your idea, or the ringleader's?
Theirs. But putting the raincoat on Miss Ringer was my own idea. So I tried to get rid of it before they found out what I'd done.
I imagine they were none too pleased when it showed up as a surprise piece of evidence in this case.
And lastly, the ringleader and I put her in the auctioneer's outfit we prepared.
Of course, which completed the deception and made everyone think she was an auctioneer.
All in
all, the auction finished up without anybody noticing anything. And that was that.
Now that we know the extent of your crimes, Nurse Needler, if you have anything further to share, I'd advise you to do so immediately.
I wish I could tell you more, but I'm sorry, that's all I know. Oh, except for one other thing. It did seem a little strange, I guess. When I was borrowing Miss Springer's clothes, I took everything I could, but I couldn't take her hair, obviously, so ouch!
You danged right you couldn't take her hair. What kind of medical professional are you? That's where you draw the line, so taking her clothes was okay. Oh god, I need water.
Our hair was totally different. The style, the length, everything. I kinda panicked. But the ringleader thought of everything, including wigs. 2 of them, in fact. There was a straight one and a wavy one. They were both stashed in the clothes box.
2 wigs. But why?
Right? I wondered that too. I thought maybe they were worried she might have changed up her hairstyle. Anyway, I took the straight one. That was the one that matched her hair on the day.
Leaving a wavy wig in the box. Okay. And that's everything you know. There's nothing else you're forgetting.
No. Huh? No, really, Grandma, that's everything.
I take it that you really have no idea who the ringleader might be.
Sorry, I only know that they were in charge of the auction. I didn't see them without their mask on. And they were pretty careful to keep their identity a secret from everyone.
If I can't get something concrete on them. Ho ho ho, well, Miles, are we done? You've proven the nurse was part of the murder plot, but sadly for you, it doesn't change a whole lot. Because it does nothing to prove that Kay Faraday isn't the ringleader. And justice must prevail. We can't change the law, even for your sake. Is this it? Am I not going to be able to save Kay?
Objection!
Francisca! Francisca, what are you doing here? As I told you before, Miss Edgeworth, where the case leads, I follow. Your dedication is inspiration to us all. But don't get the wrong idea, little brother. I am only here to deliver the truth regarding the suspect. I am certainly not here to forgive you for abandoning the way of the prosecutor. I understand that. You should thank your former subordinate for what I'm about to share. In his desperation to help Kay Faraday, he gave me a valuable piece of information. Aw, Gumshoe. Detective Gumshoe did that. Prepare yourself, Miles Edgeworth, for the final piece of the puzzle. Rosie Ringer's head wound was the first of a series of injuries she suffered, not the second. We already knew that, Francisca.
Well, someone say something.
Yes, there's no easy way to say this, Francisca, but we already proved that ourselves.
What?
Yes, just a few minutes ago.
Well, why didn't you say so sooner?
You didn't exactly give us a chance. And I suppose you know about the murder weapon, too. No, not yet.
Ha, good. Then listen up.
The victim was struck on the head with a blunt object bearing the circular surface. And the wounds on the chest were actually inflicted by post-mortem. A circular surface.
Objection.
And you're certain of that, I assume? Your sources are above board. 2 trusted medical professionals reached the same conclusion independently. You couldn't ask for more.
Objection.
Francisca's got that on lockdown, dude. That's certainly good to know that I am a prosecutor in charge of Interpol's investigation into the underground auction.
and this murder occurred during that auction. It would be negligent for me to not to pursue leads pertaining to related parties, especially the victim. My, you've really become quite the force to be reckoned with, haven't you, my dear? Okay. Then all the parties are in agreement. The victim died from a blow to the head. Okay. Sadly, the murder weapon itself has yet to be identified. Based on the shape, I might have an idea or two.
But guys, I didn't turn up any other weapons during my investigation.
And yet, one need only think about the setting and an auctioneer's tool, and the answer should be obvious. An object with a circular surface used for an auction, we're obviously talking about the auctioneer's... Oh god, is this how Gavel's gonna be accused of the murder? Because it was an auctioneer's hammer that was used and she uses a hammer? Okay. What would an auctioneer have readily at hand? And the fact that her keycard was used in the room earlier in the day. An auctioneer's hammer, of course.
But we never found one of those.
If the auctioneer was indeed the killer, it does seem likely candidate for the murder weapon. But without the evidence to support your theory, it remains nothing more than that. Oh, I have just the evidence you need right here. This piece of evidence strongly suggests that the auctioneer's hammer was the murder weapon. She heard the loud noise? Oh, because she didn't hear the hammer after. That's what they mean. Yeah. The loud noise was Kay falling down. Okay. Miss Hart told us something very important about the auction after the murder occurred. She said that the very prominent sound of the auctioneer's hammer could no longer be heard. Now, why would that be? I'll tell you why. Because it had just been used in the murder and was covered in the victim's blood. It would need to be disposed of. Isn't that right? Chairman Winner. I'll have our people look into this right away. Ho ho ho, you really are like a dog with a bone, aren't you, dear boy? But you can't dedicate yourself to a cause when you're young, and when can you? He seems very confident we'll never find it. Very well. A search for the murder weapon would be conducted. In the meantime, this court is in recess. Oh god, okay. Well, I thought I would be able to finish this case today, but it looks like that's not the case. We're probably close, right? But, okay. Next time, we will finish this case. I swear. You can do it. I don't have any more reading in me tonight. Like an hour of dialogue remains, maybe. Yeah, that's not happening tonight. I don't... Like, even if I had the time to do it, my voice is dying. But we will finish this next time. Until then, thank you for joining me. And I will talk to you all soon. Ta-ta for now.